we're August 1st is tomorrow, and once we get into August and definitely into September, we really start to turn our attention to the tropics. And right now, looks like the National Hurricane Center is monitoring 2 areas of interest, one a little bit closer to the United States and one that's just rolling off Africa. But that second one, maybe a bigger story in the coming weeks. So I'll let you take over from there.
Yeah, the Weather Service National Hurricane Center here monitoring 2 areas. One that honestly doesn't look too impressive. It is located just north of Cuba right now. The Hurricane Center giving that just a low chance of development, near 0% over the next couple of days, 10% over the next couple of days through 5 days. But this one down here further south and west, that one given a 70% chance of development through the next 5 days. Through the next 48 hours, 0%. But that's the one we're kind of watching. That's known as 96L. And I want to kind of give you a view of the tropics here overall. So this is a look at where all the dust is, where the dry air, the sand, the stuff that hurricanes don't like is located. So you've got close to Florida, very limited amount of dust. Over here in the Lesser Antilles, a good little area of Saharan dust that's come off. Then a large area of Saharan dust here north of the ITCZ, where these kind of waves are coming across right now, right along the parallel there. So we've got that one system over Cuba, pretty much just north of Cuba. The second system here, and the second or third system, I think we're going to have to start monitoring, that is just coming off the coast of Africa, a little MCS there. So this is a look at the upper air steering flow. And what I'll point out to you is over here on the right-hand side, you'll notice that there is a big area of high pressure, that big Atlantic high setting up. So that's kind of keeping all these storms south right now and allowing them to continue off towards the west. There is some wind shear also associated where that secondary storm, 96L, is located right now. So that's eating into it just a little bit. Here's a view of the satellite across the Atlantic. You can see the Gulf pretty clear, a couple thunderstorms ongoing, but not a whole lot of activity. Some storms across Cuba, Puerto Rico, and also parts of the Dominican Republic. We've got pretty clear Caribbean at this hour, with the exception of a few pop-up storms. And then there's 96L and what will probably be another little invest here shortly, just coming off the coast of Africa. A different view of that. This is from the GOES-16 satellite. You can see the left-hand storm here. That's 96L, and the one we're watching. You can see a teeny bit of swirl perhaps located with it. It is a broad area of low pressure right now, but a lot of our models are indicating that this system will become better organized in the next couple of days. And as that happens, we do expect the storm to push off towards the west and potentially have some impact on the Bahamas, maybe even the southeast coastline. Not sure about a direct impact right now. It may just be in the form of some waves, but something we certainly should watch, especially as we go into August and September, we get into a more active month. This graphic here from Tropical Tidbits is the GFS ensemble tracks. So you can notice the majority of them pretty tightly clustered here through the next 72 hours, up to 120 hours. Still a pretty good agreement as this system starts to strengthen. Then notice how the colors start to change and these paths kind of diverge a little bit as we get beyond 168, 5, 6, 7, 8 days out, all the way to 240 hours out. That's where the variability in the forecast comes into play. A lot of our computer models also suggesting this storm will eventually strengthen to at least a tropical storm, maybe even a low-end Cat 1 or Cat 2 hurricane as we go out over time. The GFS model, pretty excited about it. The European model, not as excited. So I'm going to walk you through the GFS here real quick. And as we take it off towards the west, let me make a couple changes here and see if we can get it to look better. So as we walk this storm off towards the west, there it is, impacting parts of Lesser Antilles and then impacting parts of Puerto Rico, and then making a run at some of the eastern areas of Bahamas as a hurricane. Now, this is the GFS model at hour 240, so take that with a grain of salt. I'll show you the European model as well here, compliments of weathermodels.com. And you notice the European model is not as excited about this storm. It has a tropical storm and then kind of fizzles it out. So some variability still in the models here, Scotty, as we go over the next couple of days. Bottom line is there's a few things out in the tropics to keep our eyes on. Things are starting to heat up. And as we go further into the months of August and September, I expect it to get a little bit busier as well, getting towards that peak of hurricane season around September 10th.
Yeah, and speaking of hurricanes, we do want to remind you that we are going to be airing a Hurricane Hugo 30-year special throughout the last 30 years. We want to hear your stories. So if you would submit us your stories, you could do a video, pictures, maybe even just an email. We'd love to hear from you. You can drop those in our Carolina Weather Group Facebook pages. You can send us a message on Facebook or Twitter. Or you can email us, carolinawxgroup@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your stories, see your pictures, videos from Hugo. We're going to try to compile these for a segment during our Hurricane Hugo 30th year special. So we'd love to hear what you experienced. We actually got a few stories already in from last year or from last week's information that we gave to you. So we hope to get some more, and we'd love to hear about what you experienced. So